to everyone that has been sending me messages telling me that, to not give up. I just want to let you know that I'm alright. That I'm alright and that everything's safe. And that I haven't uploaded in a while because I've been very busy with a lot of things. And it'll come self-evident as I begin explaining what's going on. So, as many who have watched videos of mine before, they know that I've been taking care of my grandfather, who was dying of cancer. And it was really stressing me and my grandmother out. Well, on Christmas morning, I was woken up to my grandmother screaming, thinking, and I went up to her and asked what was wrong, and she told me that my grandfather was dead. And I checked his pulse, I checked his temperature, it was ice cold, and he was dead. And I had spent that morning calling family members, calling people, consoling my grandmother, making sure that she was all right. So it was a rough Christmas for me. It was an even rougher New Year's, because now that he's gone, our income was going to be cut in half, and it was going to put us in poverty. And family members came in. They came in to prepare for the funeral, and we had the funeral, and it was all sad and sentimental. And while the funeral was going on, I got to see my mother's grave. And I went with my sisters, and we gathered together and hugged each other on that. But after the funeral, there was an expectation of me to take care of my grandmother and to do a lot more for her. And a lot of pressure started to build up on me, and a lot of responsibility was building up on me to do that. Now I loved my grandmother. I would do anything for her. I would take care of her in any way that I could. But the way that this was being framed was that I was going to become her full-time caregiver, because she was about to go on dialysis and she's going to need a lot of help. Now, I'm willing to do whatever I can, but if I'm being framed as a full-time caregiver, I can't do that. They were telling me that, they're going to have to rely on me to do those things. I told them that you can't rely on me. It's too dangerous. I'm willing to do what I can, but you can't put everything on me. You can't. It's too dangerous. She needs someone that she can rely on fully. And that's what I told them. And I also told them that I needed to build up skills for other things as well. And we had a long conversation, and at the end of it, I cried myself like big time. I had a miniature breakdown, and it was ultimately decided that it was best for me to make my way to move out. Now, I'm not going to be moving out anytime soon. I talked with the center that I go to, the center's housing unit, and they say that they're able to put me on the list to gain housing, to gain like rent control and all that. And they say it's going to be about a year, give or take. It could be shorter, it could be longer. I don't really know. And that's what I've been doing as well. I've been going back and forth, signing documents, calling numbers, to organize a lot of things, because while all this was going on, my insurance was denied, and that put my ability to pay for my meds, that put my ability to get transportation to the center in jeopardy, because I used the insurance's transportation number to go to and from the center. And that put that in jeopardy, and it put the ability to pay for my meds in jeopardy, because I have one antipsychotic that costs like $1,600 even with GoodRx, and that scared me a lot. And they're telling me that the reason I was denied is because I'm over 21, and in order to stay on that particular insurance, I was given like Blue Care Tennessee provided by TennCare, and they told me that in order to stay on that insurance, I needed to either have kids and take care of them, or I needed to be on Social Security. And they did a lot of fuckery with this one. They gave me the letter saying that I had this date to like tell them exactly what was going wrong, because I filed for an appeal wondering why they denied me. And the thing was is that I received a letter. I received that letter on Friday, and they told me that the deadline was next Tuesday. I couldn't go on Monday, and I needed help to give them the proof that I was filing for Social Security, because I'm doing that as well. And I'm doing that as well. And they told me that the deadline was Tuesday, and I couldn't go on Monday because that was a holiday. So I was past the deadline, by nature, because the letter came in late because of the holidays. And we applied again, but ultimately I think it's going to be worthless, because I told them, like, in an email that I developed with my coordinator, my Social Security coordinators, to tell them that I'm currently filing for Social Security right now. I'm currently working to get qualified again, but I don't think they're going to care. And I was told by my coordinator that in order for me to get on Social Security, they're gonna deny me 3 times or more before I get on it, because that's just how they do things, which I already knew. But it's going to be a long time before I can get on that. And in terms of paying for my meds, I filled out a form to the specific company where I could get my antipsychotic at a fixed rate, lower than the $1,600. And we're currently filling out that right now. And I'm also filling out a form for a caravan service that can take me to and from my doctor's appointments and my center appointments. And I'm also filling out forms to where I can get like a primary care doctor from this certain healthcare company for free. So I'm filling out that form as well. And I'm also, filling out forms to get in housing and providing documents for that. So I've just been going all over the place. And not only that, but I've been also taking care of the house as well a little bit, because in the way that it's going to be, like, my grandmother's going to be forced to do a reverse mortgage on the house or sell the house outright. So we can't stay here. So we've been trying to keep up with maintenance, because it's going to happen sooner or later, and she's dealing with a lot right now. And a lot of people are putting a lot of pressure on me and her right now. It's just been rough, and I haven't been able to keep up with these videos or really talk to anybody outside of the people that I talk to every day. So yeah, I've been struggling a lot emotionally because of this newfound stress, and I've been sleeping a lot. I've been going home and I've been sleeping for like 11, 12 hours at a time, and I've just been, whenever I do have free time, I just sit and I just stare at the wall and I process my traumas. And the trauma that's been going up and up again, that's been coming up again, is my sexual assault that my father did to me, and that's been replaying in my mind over and over and over again when I'm in that quiet place. And I've been trying, and I called a hotline. I called a sexual assault hotline about this, but the funny thing is that when I vented to them about what was going on, they kept on saying, well, I'm not qualified, I'm going to transfer you to a different number. And I called that number, and they said, oh, I'm not qualified, I'm going to transfer you to another number. And I called that one, and it was the same thing over and over and over again, until finally I was at a number where I told them what was going on, and they said, hold, I'm going to put you on hold. And then they left me on hold for about like 5 minutes, and I said, hello, 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 is there anyone there? And then I just ultimately decided to hang up. So that was a fun experience. So yeah, I haven't been doing good at all, really. And I haven't seen my therapist in 2 weeks because he's out on holiday. So that's been rough as well. So I'm gonna try and stick. I'm also been I'm also been scrambling to get a job as well. I'm working with the employment unit at that center on getting a job as well. So we've been filling out applications galore, and I'm gonna be going to a job fair on Thursday. So I'm getting ready for that. So a lot of things have changed, and I'm juggling like 6 or 7 things at once, trying to keep track of everything, and it's just been really stressful, and I'm starting to forget things. I'm having to write a lot of these things down because I'm just going to forget to do them. think, in the long term things will get better, but this is just a rough part right now. I should have been doing this stuff 3 years ago, 4 years ago, but we're forced to do them now, and all this is just piling up. And that's why I'm doing it in the dark, because I was just sitting here like resting in the dark, just trying to process all this and trying to keep my mind at ease. Because there was a period of time where I did have silence, but because of this I don't have silence anymore, and my bad habits are starting to reemerge again. So that's really all I have for this video. I'm gonna see if I can stick to my normal Sunday schedule, but that fingers crossed I'm able to do that. So I hope all of you had a better Christmas and New Year's than me, because I gotta tell you, this is the second worst Christmas and New Year's that I've had. The worst Christmas and New Year's I've had was the Christmas after my parents died. And I remember sitting there in my grandmother's house, just watching the Polar Express on like an old TV, like an old CT TV, and I remember just watching that in like a junk-ridded room, just lying on the wooden floor, just rocking back and forth and crying, because I didn't know how to manage my emotions properly. I didn't know how to handle it, and I had a bunch of conflicting advice to handle it that didn't work out in the end. And following the advice of certain people, where the only thing they wanted me to do was just shove it down and not talk about it and work myself to death and drown my emotions in work, that has got to be the worst mistake that I've ever made, and I'm not repeating it again. I'm processing my grief fully and with intent to experience the consequences if those emotions are really bad. I'm not going to hide from it. I'm going to look it directly in the eye and process it, because I'm not shoving it down anymore. That's not how I can handle things. It may work for other people, but it doesn't work with me. And I need to be conscious of that, and I need to be conscious of knowing my limits and my boundaries. Because if I just delve headfirst into filling out as many forms as possible, talking to as many people as possible, I'm going to get overwhelmed, and then I'm going to have a breakdown, and because I don't have insurance, I can't afford the medical bills, and then nothing will get done, and then nobody can help my grandmother. I need to stay sane, not only for myself, but for her as well. And she came to me and she told me that the best way to help her is to help myself. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm gonna rest for the rest of the day, and I'm also making plans to launch a GoFundMe pretty soon, because I'm gonna need some money to help with her bills, and I'm also gonna need some money to save up for when I do move out, when I do get that apartment complex that with like controlled rent. So I'm gonna set up a GoFundMe soon, and you're not obligated to give to me, but help would be greatly appreciated. So once that GoFundMe goes live, I'm going to make a community note, and I'm going to tell people, like in the next few videos, to go to it. So I have that planned. It's very stressful right now, but I know I'm going to be all right. I just have to be brave. I just have to go through these hurdles. I just have to get through it, because I have been through worse. I've been through much worse. So wait for that. And, I hope the new year brings new changes for me, new opportunities for me, I want it to bring happiness for me. I want this to be a good year, because last year was terrible. It was one of the worst years of my life. And I went through so much. And I feel like that year has aged me a decade, because of the changes that I went through and the things that I've experienced. And I'm holding out hope for this year. With everything that's going on, I still want to hold out hope that things are going to be all right for me. So I'm going to stick to it, and I'm going to do the best I can. So, well, I hope you have a rest of your day. Goodbye, and see you on Sunday, hopefully.